Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fibre Mates, where you get to meet your new fibre friends. My name is Gay. I'm a tech editor based in Melbourne. And before we get started, I'm just going to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast is being recorded, the Gadigal people, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I'm so excited to be here. Again, still in Sydney, or in Sydney. I just got in today, and I am here with my beautiful friend, Vera Marcu.
Hello!
Hi!
Hi! Oh my God!
We've been having the best day.
Yes. Despite the heat.
Despite the heat. It is, I don't know, 38, 37,
yes.
Which to translate to those who don't do Celsius, it's about 100 degrees. So if we look a bit...
It's like 100 degrees.
Yeah. If we look a bit pink and shiny, that's why. And but we're here now in the air conditioning, and you might be wondering what I'm wearing.
She likes me so much that she has agreed to wear my matchstick cardigan.
I love this design. I own it. I haven't made it yet. It's in my queue. I'm going to stand up and show you. Hopefully this will come up. It's beautiful.
So this is my most successful pattern, and everyone loves putting it on. They first say, oh, yellow, no, I'm not a yellow person. And then they actually discover that yellow is for everyone, almost. So it goes with many things. So you have a bit of multi-directional knitting. One of the sides, it started from here, and you go this way. And you knit this way. All the other parts are knitted normally from bottom up. Sleeves are done flat, picked up here. They have a seam, so all the seam haters, sorry, bad luck.
Well,
and now you can take it off.
And now I'm going to take it off because despite the air conditioning in here,
yes,
it's still warm.
Yeah.
But we have planned a fantastic chat for you today. Vera.
Yes.
When did you start designing?
I think I was in year 5. So Mom taught me how to knit.
Yes.
And first I made lots of hair bands, garter stitch, this wide. So you garter, when it's this long, bind off and tie it. Yes.
Which is very good for
my hair, and also for school. At school, in the uniform, part of the uniform was a white hairband. No one wore it. We were all like, but I could make one. And after making 5 of them, or 10, my mom was like, maybe you should move on to something else. So then I was like, okay, I'm making a vest. Okay.
That's a pretty big jump.
Yes.
From just a straight headband to vest.
Well, I understood what was going on. Yeah, if I kept on doing just knits, I would get a stockinette stitch. If I knitted, like knit purl, that's all there is in knitting. This is what I say to everyone. You knit, you purl, and you're done. There's nothing else. Yeah. So then I made a vest in stripes. I remember it so well. Leftover yarn. My mom had some leftover yarn. It had a golden yellowish.
Yeah.
And a buttery white. And it stripes like that. And that was not enough. What I did was put an exclamation mark on the chest. Because she had some black yarn. I didn't know about, when you change colors, you have to twist them around each other, because this was my first design.
Yeah.
So what happened is the exclamation mark curled in, and you could see all the threads behind.
Oh.
It's all right. It's okay. I didn't care. Kept on going like. Yes. So vest. That was my first. The thing is, the only patterns we had were German magazines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And German magazine patterns, like the Danish patterns that everyone talks about, are about this long. Okay?
Oh, they're very not
no detail.
intuitive. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cast on the number of stitches, you knit for so long, follow chart A, bind off, sew the seams, and that's all the instructions. The other thing is we never had the yarn that was recommended, because that would be the dream. We had the magazines. The yarn was whatever yarn you had, sometimes repurposed from another project, very often.
Yeah.
So you had to adjust because you never had the yarn. You couldn't use the numbers in the pattern. So the pattern was really only a photo, a chart. That would be helpful if it had cables or so. You would use the chart. But you had to do your maths immediately. Like Mom immediately taught me, if you want those centimeters and you have that gauge, then you do the maths.
Yes.
So everyone do the maths. It's, it's what you do. So designing, I think in my knitting life, I've knitted 3 patterns of someone else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've done one Nora Gorn.
Yes.
I've done one of the German cabled ones.
Yes.
And I don't remember if it's just 2. It could be just 2.
Well, Noragon's a legend, right? Like,
I would become her butler just to live with her. If she ever sees I'm coming. Just to pick her brains on how she thinks about
she's
the
an
cables.
amazing designer. If you don't know about her, you should check her out. And just on that point, anything that we discuss, they'll have links in the description box below. So you just tap more, and that should take you to the box with all the links. So anything we talk about should be linked in there.
Yes. And this brings me actually to why I wrote the first pattern.
Yes.
I was having my eyes checked, and the lovely lady who was doing optometrist, she said, you probably need bifocals. Do you find it hard when you read and I was like, yes, when I knit.
Yes.
I'm starting not to be able to, with my normal glasses, I can't see and she said, oh, you knit? And I was like, yes. And of course, glasses were put aside for half an hour. We chatted about knitting for half an hour.
As always happens.
Look what I've been doing, and what yarn did you use, and the normal chatter. And I had just finished a blanket, which I've done in cables. Cables being from Nora's book.
Yes.
The twisted, not the twisted stitch, the cable. The cable.
She's got a cable source book or something.
Yes, that's the one. So I thought, if I tell this woman cables are from that book, she can get the book and she can do the blanket.
Right?
Right. What's easier? Couple of months later, I go again for another thing, and she goes like, I bought the book. I have no idea how to use it. Because she was a beginner.
Okay.
So she didn't really understand the repeats of a chart.
Yes.
So there's a cable, it has 18 stitches. How do you repeat? How many stitches do you put? Edges?
Yep. It can be complicated to put all of that together.
Yes.
Even just for like a blanket, which is like basically a piece of flat knitting.
So she said, can you please write it for me? Do that so many times over this many stitches.
Yeah.
So I did. And she was very happy. And I thought, listen, if this is what it takes, maybe I should write some things down, like a scarf or, So then I bought some really nice yarn. Was some llama. It's what's the name of that one? The yellow one I have?
Rowan? No.
Oh, we'll remember. Llama. And it's a scarf and it's got sleeves. You know what I mean?
Like the type of sweater, like a.
It's a scarf with sleeves, and what's the other name of acacia flower? You know the acacia flower? The Australian symbol. No, not Banksia. The other one.
Sorry, Australian flower, like wattle?
Yes.
This is like a game of charades. You're perfect. Australian flower, wattle.
The wattle scarf. That's the first pattern that I put on
Oh,
Ravelry.
Yes.
Yes, made with the llama yarn.
Mm.
And it's basically a scarf, and the two ends are sewn together so you can put your hands through if you're feeling cold.
I'm gonna go look that up later. Because
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't.
You haven't seen that one? It's
No.
right at the bottom. It's like the first one.
It pays to scroll down.
Yes, the wattle.
Mm.
Wrap?
Wrap.
And I put it on Ravelry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how much to charge for it, so I think I put $4 for it.
Mm.
And then the next morning, there were all these emails saying, someone bought it. I couldn't believe it. It actually works. Ravelry. Ravelry works, people. It's incredible. So yeah, that's how it started.
Other designers that I've spoken to have said how gratifying it is when they get the notification that somebody has bought
Yes.
your pattern.
Yeah, you have to have a sound for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like a ping.
Yeah. Yeah, and then bing and go like, ooh, which one?
Do you track that? Like, which is your most popular?
Yes,
Oh,
sometimes
because
I
you've
look.
got the
The mastic. But yeah, it's fun. And sometimes it's a bit sad because there's a couple of patterns that didn't do so well for whatever reason.
Oh, but then you might really like that pattern.
Yeah. And I think they're great. And I look at it and go like, why? Why didn't you like it? Could be the seams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it could be the
I know.
seams. Everyone wants top down, seamless.
I know, I do love a...
Are you one of them?
If I really wanted the garment, I think I would do it.
You would do a seam.
But I haven't... I think one... I think that was actually in the round from the bottom, so there was some seaming. I find set-in sleeves very tricky.
Yes, they are tricky. I agree. I would rather pick stitches for setting sleeves. And it's neater as well. You don't have any of the puckering and all that planning with,
Yeah.
And they look neat and
Yeah. And I've
Yes.
had some trouble with like
Yes.
the stitches here.
Yes.
Like kind of gaping, not being like tight enough. And
yeah,
that's-
it's very tricky. I agree.
It's really
sewing
irritating.
sleeves
Yeah.
with setting sleeves. Yes. Yeah.
So what made you want to be a designer? Your year 5 self, or then and beyond.
I love making clothes. I do sew a bit. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. I just plain. I didn't make this, by the way. Do not even. No. Just simple things. I think I kept on knitting, and things got better and better. The things I created just started looking really good. And then people would say, "Oh, can you make me that?" And I'd be like, "Don't think so."
I know, you got to be pretty gift worthy, like knit worthy.
Yes. So no. So I thought then, why don't I write them down and then people can make them themselves, which is much nicer.
It's like empowering people.
Yes.
Right? Rather
Yes.
than,
Yes.
what is it, teach
Them
people
how
to
to
fish, and they can eat for a lifetime.
Yeah. So it's and if I see someone wearing something I designed, it's just the best feeling. It's just incredible. It makes my day. I'm on a high for weeks.
I've got some other questions about designing, but can we talk about that? Because
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this project that's
The
coming
next
up.
one.
Yes. Can we?
Yes.
So
yes.
I feel like this might be hearing it first. I don't know if
It could be. Yeah. Only the testers know about it.
That's
I did ask
right,
for
right?
testers. Yeah.
Because this will come out, I think, in the back half of, well, no, this podcast, I think will come out in the back half of January.
Oh, good. Okay.
So this year, and I'm going to back up, people will know the New York Sheep and Wool Show, right? Called Rhinebeck. It occurs in a town called Rhinebeck, which is in New York. And each year...
You've been?
I haven't yet.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
I really want to. Not this year, I think. I don't know. Never say never. Who knows? Each year, I think it's Andrea Mowry comes out with, maybe other designers do it as well.
I think lots of designers do.
With a Rhinebeck sweater. Now, we have the Australian Sheep and Wool Show in Bendigo. This year, there are going to be some designs coming out that are going to be our Bendigo projects. So we're so excited. Should we mention all the designers?
Yes.
All right, so it's Vera. It's Susanna Kartinen from Sana & Co. Tess Vanderkolk from Fluff and Nonsense. And then Kath Martin from Mindful Melbourne Maker. So this is super exciting.
Yes.
And Vera has done, so there's 2 jumper options.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Vera's and Susanna's. There'll be a scarf or cowl. A cowl. And then a sock, which is, the cowl will be designed by Tess, and then the sock designed by Kath. And we've got the first jumper to show you.
Okay, so this one is a jumper, and it's made in alpaca, and the theme for our projects are stripes. So you can see stripes in 2 directions, but they're not knitted in 2 directions. If you look very closely, the stripes are on this side like that, and then the other side. And it's got a modified shoulder, so it sits nicely without bulge at the underarm. And what do we call this? It's like mock turtle?
It's kind of a mock turtleneck.
Yes, and same on the back. And Susanna's is also a stripy one. So stripes. The idea is that people would knit them. We're gonna have a knit along. It's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We'll all be there to support you if you have questions. The patterns are not difficult, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then when we meet in July in Bendigo, I suggest buy the donut stall.
Definitely buy the donut stall. Hey?
Yes, we're gonna have photos. So we'll do group photos with all our jumpers, beanies.
Yeah, we'll figure out.
No beanie. Cowls, socks,
Yeah.
everything. Socks. That's gonna be fun. Wear your socks.
I know. Everybody take a shoe off.
Because I think Bendigo is actually just as good as Rhinebeck, if not better. Definitely bigger. It is bigger, I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
From people that have been to both?
Yeah. Yes. It's a big festival. There's so many people involved. And beautiful producers. This yarn is from Fibre Naturally. Everyone knows you've already interviewed.
Gail.
Yes.
I'll link the episode below. I can't remember what number it was.
Yeah.
But Gail took us through her entire production line. So if you want to know anything about how to produce this kind of yarn, go back to that episode and have a watch. Gail's amazing force to be reckoned with in our local industry, especially in Victoria. Passionate. She's so passionate about the animals and animal care and animal welfare. She's amazing.
Yeah, and the yarn is to die for.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is incredibly soft, knits like a dream. It's not, people always ask me, oh, but alpaca, it sags. No, maybe. Not all of them. No,
it can be warm, so...
Yes.
Like...
Yes, but for Bendigo it's going to be a plus.
Right? Remember last year? It was freezing.
It's
freezing.
Yeah.
Do you have a separate version?
So the other option, because it's summer here and I really didn't want my testers to struggle, so I said, why don't we do cotton? So this version is a cotton linen 8-ply. Oh, it keeps on changing color. I think that's the most accurate this angle. Rowan Creative Linen. So it's 50% linen, 50% cotton, and it knits at exactly the same gauge same amounts of yarn. So I think there is no reason why you wouldn't be able to use 100% cotton, you know,
Yeah.
or anything that's not bouncy, okay? Because of the stitch, the way you have stripes this way and stripes this way, if it's wool, it's going to bounce. So this would end up shorter and this would end up narrower.
You'd have to have a really
Loose gauge.
Oh, that's it.
That's
me.
you. No, even then, I think it was still jump up. You needed really flat kind of fibers.
Do you think you could get it from blocking, like using blocking pins and things?
It
Or
was
it's
still. It has such memory, Marina. Yeah. Yak. Camel. Cashmere.
Gail, if you want a good splurge, Gail has a camel.
She does.
A camel cashmere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's called something like, "Oh, that's so soft."
Yes.
because
Yes,
it's
because
really
they're not wool. They are actually down. They're the fluff that sits on the animal by the skin. Camel, yak, and cashmere. So it's not shorn, it's brushed.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the brushing
But
of
don't
yaks?
they shear alpacas?
Yes, but alpaca is, because of this drapey situation with alpacas, alpaca is not as elastic.
Okay.
I don't know why though. Why is it? Because it's not curly?
Don't know.
Because the fiber is not curly?
We
need
can
to
ask
ask
Gail.
Gail. Yes, alpaca sits nicely. It doesn't. I have to say, I did block it a bit more aggressively. With the cotton linen, I didn't have to do anything. It just sat there.
Yeah.
With this one, I went a bit.
Yeah, to get it.
Yes.
Pins.
Yes. A bit of pinning. Yeah.
Those like square ones.
And it's probably
really help.
not exactly 100%.
That's all right.
Yeah. You get away with it.
It's a handmade
in alpaca.
garment,
Yeah.
right? We're not
Yes.
looking for perfection.
No, never.
Um,
So this is, what's it called?
Oh.
Microphone? Who got the best name?
I love this name. I call it head to toe Bendigo because you basically can just.
Yes, Head to Toe Bendigo Project. And the jumper is called the Long Paddock.
Long Paddock. Sorry, that's what you were
okay.
asking me to say.
That's okay. She had some coffee, but you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been up very early today. It's okay.
It's okay.
Um.
So Long Paddock.
Long
Why
Paddock
did you think
jumper?
about the Long Paddock name?
So, when I saw Vera's pattern and I was thinking about the purpose for it being the sheep show, and a lot of times I think we focus so much on the yarn at the sheep show that we forget about the sheep,
Yeah.
right? And it's really the whole reason that the festival goes on and that we get to have this amazing yarny experience. And I thought, well, how do we bring it back to the actual sheep? So Long Paddock is like a colloquial phrase for the stock routes that are traversed by, obviously stock, sheep, cattle, that kind of thing, when they move along their paddocks. So that's where it's come from.
But I have to also mention that you tech edited my pattern.
I did. So hopefully, if you make the Long Paddock jumper, it's a fabulous experience.
Yes, of course it is. We were so careful. We really tried our best.
Yes.
Yes.
We had meetings.
Yes. About it. Very true.
Let's go back to designing.
Yes.
What do you think are the biggest challenges you faced when you started designing? So what advice would present day Vera give to past Vera?
Not be too ambitious with the first thing you write. Not the first one, but the second or the third pattern I wrote was also based on a stitch pattern by Nora Gorn. It's Nora's Hidden Flower. And I made my jumper, It's sideways, so you do, there's a chart, and you knit it, and then you change a little bit the chart. Nora said, play with the charts. I was like, Nora said, I'm going to do it. So there's a little flower that by changing a bit the pattern, you get flowers in the stitch pattern. And I was having the best time. And then I had to grade it.
Yes.
And no, I had no idea how to grade properly. At the time, I didn't yet know how to use spreadsheets.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm a musician, all right? You have to be understanding with me. Why would I need spreadsheets? I've always used music paper. Okay, so I had no idea how to use a spreadsheet, that you put the numbers and all that, zero knowledge.
Yep.
So my first, I would say, can you not start with the very trickiest thing? Because you have to think about how many repeats to get for each size in the middle in the same place.
Yep.
Which row do you start?
Yeah.
Also, the row gauge of different yarns is going to affect how long. So it's all like, it works. I'm not saying don't do it. It works. The pattern is doable. But maybe start with something a bit easier.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So grading is an art.
Oh, it's so hard, isn't it?
It's depending on the garment. Like even simple garments, to get them to fit properly, you really need to have an idea of exactly what size. It starts with an exact gauge swatch, an exact gauge swatch that has been properly treated.
Yes.
So like not a gauge swatch, that you've been going like this to 18 times and then you measure it.
Wishfully thinking that you have gauge.
It's completely not the right gauge, so it's just not gonna.
No.
So that's so important.
Yes. Grading is hard work, and my dream is to be, the designer and someone else do the grading for me.
I do some grading.
I know it's possible. People do it. Famous designers have their grading assistant. Oh. Isn't that a dream? Yeah. One day.
I still find it difficult.
It is hard. It is hard. Yes. And then even with all the best intentions, you might not fit everyone. Like, people have to understand that we have, these sizing numbers about neck widths and arm and chests, but everyone's different. So I think the most important thing for knitters to know is how to alter patterns to fit themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't blame it on the designer. You can't just say, oh, her designs never fit me.
There's so many factors.
There are so many things
that go into it.
Yes. Yes. And you can't think of everyone. Some people have, narrow shoulders, but big chests, or the other way around.
Or a wider shoulder.
Wider shoulder. It's just so much. So, yeah. It's hard work.
But I think the ability to customize and having that skill, there's a class for you to teach.
No,
how to customize your knits.
No, I don't think so. No, you do it. There are so many resources around.
Yeah.
There's the beautiful Andrea from Fruity Knitting. She has so much stuff about that, about bust darts and, changing gauge, if you want tighter, if you want looser. All these people have put so much effort, and all you have to do is do a bit of homework.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely doable,
and
I think
worth it.
Yes. Because you put so much time into knitting a garment.
Yeah.
You want to be able to wear it and love it,
and not always knit the same thing. I almost cry when I see some of my friends. They always knit because they know it fits them. They go, I'll just do another. I'm not going to name it. You know the one I mean.
I don't know how it's still on the first page of like the Ravelry so
because
hard.
You
every
can
time.
In fingering, in DK, in mohair, linen.
I've never done it.
Me either. I'm full of dark rage, envy. But anyway, you know what I mean.
I do.
And it doesn't matter that some people have their necklines here and they're still happy. They go like, oh, look, I have made my 20th. Move on, people. knit something else. Give us a chance, I would say. Yes.
I think there are so so many.
Yes.
To give a crack.
There was a good conversation about Ravelry in Threads, I think.
Oh yeah.
Where someone said, how do I get past those top 20 patterns that are always there? And the solution is ask for the opposite. When you're on Ravelry, just say list projects patterns. There's going to be a lot of rubbish, okay? There's going to be some weird things.
Yeah.
But there might be a gem.
I love the weird things.
That's what you.
Right? I just wow. Like, I think they're great. More power to them.
I'll send you some and
yes, please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Tell me if you like that one. Yes. Look for
when it comes up, the
things.
search bar, it says something like "What's hot now?" I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. In most projects, that's also the one that's gonna give you. Like some of Andrea Maury's have like 20,000 projects attached to them. Like, isn't that like amazing?
I know. I was looking at, I think it was Go Go Dynamo, so the latest Stephen West M Cal, and that had like 4,600 or something, and I was just like, wow.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm so grateful when people actually take a chance on my patterns and go like, yeah, I'm gonna make that.
I don't know that your patterns will actually qualify for this, but do you know there's another vlogger or podcaster her name is Selma from Little Big Knits.
No.
She's running a cal. I think she said it's going to be year long, but the purpose of the cal is to knit projects or knit patterns that have less than 50 projects.
Oh yeah, I qualify. Big. Hands down.
There you go. So if you knit one of Vera's patterns...
Most of mine have less than 50. Really? You think I'm that famous? You're a good friend.
That surprises me, but okay.
I think a lot of people who have knitted my patterns do not put them on Ravelry. Because I sold a lot of patterns at yarn festivals.
Yes.
And it would be older knitters who
want more of
they don't care about Ravelry.
A non-digital experience.
Yes. They just knit, wear, show me. Next time they see me, they show me, and we're also happy. Maybe I remember and take a photo sometimes.
Yep.
Yes. So it's not,
So there's, and I think that actually goes quite hand in hand with the cal that Karina and I are running this year, which is the Love Local cal.
Louie and Lola.
Yeah. Karina from Louie and Lola Yarns, which is to knit a project that's designed by an Australian or New Zealander like Vera, with yarn that's from Australia and New Zealand, either produced here, dyed here, or from a local yarn shop. So you can get as a little loophole there if you have non-Australian yarn that you've got from an Australian yarn shop, then that will still qualify. Yes. And Selma's with the less than 50, you can double dip in the cals and just have heaps of fun. Check out if you don't know Selma's podcast, check it out and let her know that I sent you.
Yes.
Spreading the love. Yeah. She's from Canada, so she kind of sounds like me, but I mean, I'm not Canadian, but same kind of North American vibe. Sorry, we're like 30 minutes into this podcast and we're like question 3.
Whoops. I had a feeling that might happen.
This might be a marathon. Hope everybody has a good knitting project and maybe press pause and go get another cup of tea.
This could be Australia Day watching. Nothing to do.
Right? I'll make sure it comes out on that day.
Okay, what question
All
are
right,
we on?
next question, question 4.
Yes.
Why do you design? What drives you to create?
I don't know. I just have all these ideas. I keep on... I go on Pinterest. I have lots of photos that I saved in all sorts of albums. I do follow fashion. Like I look at fashion parades. and I wonder, oh, why does that work? Why does it look good? What's good about it? What do I like?
Yes.
And then just the making, it's so exciting. You make something with your own hands, and it's also, I know it's been abused a bit, this everyone's mindfulness making, but to be in the zone with your, you're doing something stitch after stitch, and it calms you down, and you're breathing easily, and it's very much like playing music. Like when I play violin or viola, it's the same. I get into this, and can be hours, and you don't even notice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I feel like knitting, because it's a simple activity it's very transportable.
Yes.
You can take it anywhere.
Yes.
You can put it down, unlike sewing where there's a lot of things that have to stay in place.
There's a lot of gear, isn't there?
Stick it in your bag and you start again wherever, whenever.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like other people's patterns, all right? I admire a lot of designers, but when I start knitting someone else's pattern, first I lose my patience reading it, because lots of them have 20 pages, and I go like, oh, just can you show me the schematic and we'll go from there. And then I feel like, oh, but I don't actually like that cuff, I'm going to change it too. So I end up making something else completely.
Yeah. And then that just adds more time to the project. And
yeah, but it's more fun.
True.
You lay to your creativity.
I suppose that's the difference between a process knitter and a product knitter.
I definitely have a process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depends for me. Sometimes I do enjoy the process, but sometimes I just want the garment. I'll go back to Go Dynamo, right?
Yes.
That has been such a labor of love.
Yeah.
But I think it's beautiful. I think the shawl is really cool. I love the geometry of it.
Yeah.
I just really, really want it, and I'm pushing through.
Yeah.
I'm pushing through.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. True.
That's...
On the other hand, maybe I should be less of a... Every time I want a light cardigan for, spring, I don't have any...
I want one too, actually.
Yeah. I need to make something.
Please.
Like a light 4-ply, 5-ply cardigan. Maybe half cotton, half merino.
Oh.
And V-neck. Something simple. I always...
V-neck would be easy, like a bit quicker. So whenever I hear 4-ply sweater, I get a bit...
Yeah, but if you want it for spring...
That's true. It's true. I just think it's so... I think I just need to get over the 4-ply.
5-ply. 5-ply.
5-ply was good.
It's very good. It's not too fast, not too slow, not too thick.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done 5-ply?
No, because I was actually really wanted to cast on... I've literally mentioned this sweater almost every episode. You're crazy about cables. Sweater, I want sweater so badly. And I still haven't cast it on. I bought the yarn back in July when we were in Bendigo. I bought the Bendigo Woolen Mills 5-ply.
Yes.
There's sport weight yarn. Yes. I have it. It's in a beautiful, like, pale kind of mushroom color, which I think will show the cables beautifully.
Yes.
And I need to cast it on. In fact, I can show you. I think I've got the pattern up here on I've got my iPad here. Right? There it is. It's there. Ready to go?
You should do it. It's so fun.
I just love how the boxy shape.
The fun of actually knitting
with the more fitted.
And guess who's
sleeves.
Done the cable in the middle? Whose cable is that?
Is it an Oregon cable? So I'll have a little bit of Oregon.
Yes. Yeah, it's fun. That's a fun project.
Oops, I'm not on the questions anymore. Here we go. As a designer, when you collaborate with a yarn producer such as Gail, or I know you've collaborated with other Great Southern, and then
Adagio Mills.
Yes. What is that process like? Like, would you have some advice to designers who haven't done that yet, and like how does that even happen?
It depends. Because the way I've always knitted is I start with the yarn. I see a yarn, I go like, oh, you're beautiful. I need to make something with you. I don't know if other designers might think differently. They might have a sketch of something that they want and then go from that to the yarn they need for. Whereas for me, it's the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I met Donna from Adagio Mills. She was like, I would like a cowl in one skein if possible, because a lot of her customers would like just to try the yarn.
Yeah.
So she thought if I have a pattern, that's one skein.
That's nice. That's a way, a really good way, I think, to probably sell yarn as well.
Yes.
Because for the one skein project is, well, first of all, as a knitter, it's very doable.
Yep. Even 4-ply.
Even 4-ply.
Yep.
And it's not a huge financial outlay as well for something that you may or may not.
Yes, especially with these yarns that are boutique mills. Yeah, they're not cheap because they are very, a lot of work goes into them, and it's a small business, so they can't be commercially, So you buy a ball of yarn, you buy a pattern, and then you end up with a cowl, and the cowl has been very successful.
I think I edited
accordion.
that cowl. Yeah,
the accordion cowl. Yes. And she loved it, and I loved working with the yarn. So next time we did a vest. So she had a new yarn which was Polworth, an alpaca, and I love Polworth. It's such a beautiful nice fiber, beautiful fiber. Yes. So she said, "Here, have some yarn. Like, don't do this to me. Don't come to me and say have some yarn, Vera, because I cannot resist that. It's so bad. Like, people have to stop doing this to me." But it is the dream, isn't it? Like, have some yarn, do something with it. Like, how good. And the yarn is beautiful. And then, of course, with Great Southern Yarn, I think, how did that work? I had a cardigan and I wanted a jumper based on the same stitch patterns.
Yes.
So I thought, what do you have that would work? And they had a beautiful 5-ply. Yeah, Great Southern Yarn has a 5-ply merino. That's just a dream. Very nice.
Possibly a perfect weight for Australia.
Yes, this is why I think they wanted 5-ply, because they thought 4-ply takes too long, 8-ply is too warm,
heavy.
Yeah. So that's the story with them. So it is yarn. It is the yarn. Yarn. I buy some yarn and go like, oh, what to make with it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. How difficult is it in this day and age to be original?
Yes, it is tricky, isn't it?
I know, because I know you had this, I feel like at Bendigo you had a swatch of something, and then we found something on Ravelry that was the same.
Yes, there was a beautiful stitch pattern, and then it was Stephen West who had used it. Like,
was it?
How am I going to compete with Stephen? If it was some little designer that no one knows of, I can do it too. But some kind of basket weave with a little bit of lace between the squares. Oh, that's such a.
It was really pretty.
It was very pretty, but exactly what I wanted to do with it, he's done already. And same thing happened with another thing I tried. Like, there was another stitch pattern that he had used in a shawl, so I had to drop that. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, everything that we do has been done before in knitting. You cannot be 100% original. Everyone has done a drop shoulder, a cable, a lace, a something.
I mean, look at all the just the plain sweaters.
Yes.
Because, in fact, when I think about designing and what I might want to design, I would want to design like really great fitting basics.
Yes.
Like with no pattern.
Wearable. Something that you work with everything.
Like literally plain.
True.
I know. There's lots and lots of plain sweaters.
So you go to Uniqlo.
Go to Uniqlo.
No, we would never do that. I don't think I need to be original. I think I want to have fun while I knit it. That's the most important. Sometimes I will go through the pain of doing a stockinette stitch project if I really think it serves the idea that I have. But something has to happen all the time. I have a friend who's a psychologist and she's in my knitting group, and she test knitted the cardigan, the Milo cardigan.
Yes.
And after knitting it, she said she could write a profile of me. She said, Vera needs something to happen all the time. She cannot be bored. She hates boring stuff. There was always something and it's true. It's true. And it's the same with music. If I play music and you make me play long notes for half an hour, it's torture. I just, something has to happen. Even if it's like stockinette stitch, but you make stripes with it, like in the Long Paddock.
Yep.
Yeah? It's just that desert of stockinette that for me is just, I cannot bear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then if I think about that, I want it to be fun to knit, and then it has to be stylish because I like, you know, clothes that look nice.
Yep.
And it has to be wearable. I want to be able to wear it.
Yep.
Like as much as I love Stephen, and I know you do too, some
do.
of his shawls are not practical. Can I just say they're
They're really big. They're really big.
They are really big.
Maybe more practical for other parts of the world.
Yes, true. Yes, we don't really need that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. So then it becomes original because I have all these things that I need. Yeah.
Ah, I like this question. Well, we already talked about Nora.
Yes, Nora, my goddess.
Yeah. Because the next question is, who are some designers that you admire? And as bonus points if they're local. Because...
Yes. Well, of course, we have to say how much I love Sana. And how fun she is. She also ticks the boxes that I find important. She is fun to knit.
Yes, she is fun to knit.
Yeah.
So this is Susanna Cartonen from Sana & Co.
Sana & Co. She is wearable,
Very.
practical. They're
Yes.
all things you can wear.
Yes.
And she's not trying to just follow the trends. She has her own ideas. She looks at fabrics and thinks, stripes that way. You know.
Yeah.
So I admire that. If it's someone who just goes like, oh, I'll just do another yoke top down seamless jumper, that's not going to impress me, because I know that what you have to do is you get your numbers right. You throw a pattern, either colors or lace here, and it's going to be successful. You can't really fail. But that's not what I admire. I admire someone like Nora, who went all directions. She would do hexagons and then pick up stitches and make sleeves out of them, and just insane stuff.
Yeah.
She was just,
She's a legend.
She's a legend. Yes. And then there's Margina. Margina is very creative.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She have my eye on
beautiful stuff she does.
She's got, do you know what else I really like about Margina's portfolio is she's got some really beautiful sweaters for men. Sweaters are unisex to a point, right?
Yes.
But I think when I've made sweaters for my husband, I've done, like, the body is so much longer.
Yes.
And maybe that's just my proportions versus my husband's proportions as well, like how his body is built.
Of course. Torso is longer.
But like
Yeah.
his sweaters come like look like a tunic on me.
Yeah. What about sleeves?
His arms are a little bit shorter.
Because my husband's sleeves are
but
too
like
long.
no, it would be longer than mine.
Yeah.
So her lumberjack sweater is amazing. She's got another sweater called the Kookaburra sweater.
Yes.
That I love.
Yes, a friend from knitting group, I think, done that.
Both of them are in my queue, and her most recent design, I think, called a Proso, Proso jumper.
Very good.
It's beautiful.
Yes, they're beautifully crafted. There is an aesthetic to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's got a definite style
Yes.
aesthetic, I think, with the lace.
Yes, yes.
For her
Romantic.
yeah.
So I think she uses all that Japanese kind of intricate cables and twisted stitches. It's all just stunning.
But
Beautiful
I
stuff.
think even that kind of translates a little bit to the men's stuff too. It's not lacy, but like the texture of
Yes.
the kookaburra
Texture, she
sweater
does very good texture.
and like the shawl collar on that lumberjack sweater
Yeah.
as well kind of brings in some of those elements.
She's very talented.
Yeah. We've got some fantastic local talent.
Yes, I know.
How lucky are we?
She is very famous. She's properly famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, the light is changing in here all of a sudden. Is that better? We're less pink now.
Less pink. Still shining.
Okay, we've got some sweaters to talk about.
Yes.
And the first one reminds me of the day that we met, which was in 2022. No, it was 2024.
Three.
Yes, 2023.
Yeah.
July of 2023.
Yes.
That fateful day when I approached the ochre yarn stall at the Australian Sheep and Wool Show. I saw Vera. I think we had connected on Instagram before, like commented whatever, because I knew you were.
You commented about crazy about cables.
Yes,
And made
because
my day.
I'm crazy about that sweater.
Yes.
Literally.
And I was like, oh, someone actually knows about my jumper.
So I saw Vera, and I just went literally like, my face was like, and I screamed, and then Vera screamed.
Yes, because I recognized you. I saw one of your podcasts.
Ah,
Yes.
I did have the podcast then.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, and we're just screaming.
Yeah, it was fun. And Daniela and
was
Nicole
there.
were both there, and they were
Yes.
going like a bit like, what's going on? Crazy woman.
lady.
It must be the curly hair.
Definitely the curly hair. Vera and I are actually twins. Just kidding.
Yes.
So
And then you bought the pattern for Asia,
I did.
which was still new. So this is another of my favorite patterns.
I love this. It's got a split hem. You
Split
can't
hem,
really see it.
and it's got the fun thing happening here where you just move these twisted stitches sideways, and then they continue on the shoulder, and then this happens. And I really like the back of this. This is the back of the neck and how it continues in the front as well. So the original has a turtleneck, which you like very much.
I do love a turtleneck. I love a turtleneck.
Actually don't like turtlenecks much to wear. So this is mine. This is my version. My daughter has the turtleneck one. So this is just the same, exactly the same pattern, but you stop after 10 rows. Yeah, just bind off.
I won't stop. I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
I'll have the turtleneck up to the top of my head.
Yes, that's a look. Yeah.
And I just realized as we were setting up today that I've got some yarn in my stash that I think will be amazing for this.
What yarn is that?
It's actually some yarn from Webb's. I know, I'm really trying to use Australian yarn this year, but
yes.
I've
Oh,
got,
listen. Come on.
look,
There's yarn everywhere.
I actually meant to record an entire episode to come out at the end of December to talk all about my knitting plans for 2025. Oh my God, seriously. But that didn't happen because I've had this summer cold and I haven't really been able to talk until today.
Oh.
I had some laryngitis.
Oh,
and
no.
yeah, over Christmas it was, well, silent. And thankfully I was by myself, so that was
Good.
It was actually really good. I just
Aw.
got to rest.
Yes.
But I didn't get to talk about my knitting plans, which was to have I want to knit, it's like input, output. I want more output than input this year.
Yes.
So a bit more conscious yarn buying and
Yes.
more actual doing. So I'll
We all
try.
need
I'm
to
gonna
do that.
have some check-ins.
Yes.
I think during the year to give my input-output numbers. We'll see how I go.
Yeah. And you're gonna need this
I
eventually.
think I have the pattern. I actually have a paper
know
pattern.
you do have the pattern.
Can I get a downloaded copy?
Yes, of course. So anyone who has the printed pattern can contact me on Instagram or Instagram I think is the easiest.
Okay.
And just say, I have your printed pattern, could I please have the PDF? And if I know your email address that you have used for Ravelry, I actually send it directly to your Ravelry as a gift.
Ah.
So you find it in your library.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I've done that a lot with people. I used to create a code and it's a bit more complicated, whereas this, I trust you if you say you have my pattern.
Because I knit a lot with my iPad, and because I can annotate the PDFs.
Yeah.
So I can check off like what I've done, or do like little row counters, whatever. I use that a lot. So
It's
I mean, I could write it on the pattern, but then I feel like I'm defacing the pattern. Anyway, I love that one.
Yes.
There's another one that
That you've knitted.
I have knitted.
This was a bit of an adventure.
It was
the bandana.
There was literally. I don't know if you know what an American Girl doll is. Have you those dolls? They're like probably that high. Like they're bigger than Barbie, but not like huge.
Okay.
And I just thought this is a shawl for an American Girl doll. I don't know how I got the gauge so wrong. Like anyway, the second version
came out.
was amazing. So I test knit this.
So this is the Semplice,
It's beautiful.
and it was originally done for Adagio Mills, and that also came from the yarn. She gave me the yarn.
Yes.
It's a beautiful grey 4-ply alpaca.
It's still like this luster of that yarn.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And nothing worked for it. I tried cables, I tried lace, and nothing really was showing how amazing it is. Yeah, it was a little bit.
Well, this is absolutely perfect.
Yes. So when I finally cracked the code, I was like, it needs to be something with plain stockinette stitch that just shows the yarn. I don't have the original one anymore. I think Donna has it. This is a merino linen. I think it's exactly the merino linen we were looking at Skin Sisters. 90% merino, 10% linen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I think this is a fantastic would be a great beginner shawl project.
It is. It is because once you're started, it's so easy, isn't it?
And
There's
it's so satisfying to see this texture
grow. So you start from here, you make a little tab thing, and you have 9 stitches to start. And then it just grows in here and in the middle. And you keep on changing from stockinette to reverse stockinette. And it gets smaller and then gets big again, and then you finish with garter. So yeah, semplice, it means simple in Italian.
There we go.
Yeah. So I had someone contact me the other day, and they said, I think it's too hard for me. I don't know where to put the markers. And it turned out this lovely lady only had the markers that are bulb shape, the ones that are like a safety pin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whereas the markers I'm talking about is the ring markers that sit on.
Yes.
So the only difficulty she had was that she had the wrong markers and she didn't understand what to do with them. She thought they had to go in the fabric or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, like the kind that you hang off.
So the moment, I sent her a couple of photos. This is the stitch markers. They sit on the needles. She was off running, no problem. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great beginner project.
It is.
And 2 skeins?
2
skeins, easy.
Yeah. And you can go for longer if you want, or
get it bigger.
Yeah, you could continue for a bit longer here, or more garter. This one has some tassels.
Pretty tassels.
Yes. This one is dyed by the beautiful Glenhaven Knits. Yes. I always say you need to do some more, Janice. This color is just.
I love the idea of a linen.
A bit of linen.
Do you know who else does really nice linen? Is I think it's dyed by hand. I won a skein of her yarn at the last All About Fibre and Yarn festival that I went to. I won the raffle.
So it's probably the same base. I think
it would be similar.
Yeah. most of the independent dyers have this base that's it's got some linen in it. Yeah.
It's the linen doesn't pick up the dye in the same way as the wool, so it's got this like beautiful heathering.
Yeah, you can see the little flecks through. And it's also got more drape.
Yeah.
Because of the linen, without being starchy, sort of stiff.
And then for a cool night in Australia in the summers, it would be perfect.
Not today.
Not today.
Off you go.
All right, now the next one is also in my queue. I haven't made it yet, but I've got some Louis and Lola beautiful. Mine's dark green.
Oh, nice.
Because I feel like it's got forest vibes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really? Because of the leaves?
Yeah. That's what I thought. It was like leaves, forest green.
So
like,
this is the Excelso, okay? It's a triangular wrap. You start from this end. So you start with just 5 stitches here. And then there's these leaves that keep on growing. This was my first pattern accepted by a knitting magazine. You should have seen me scream and squeal
happy
when I got
dance.
the email.
Would have been seriously happy dancing.
Yeah, Interweave Knits. Remember when they still had a magazine? Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, I sent them the submission. I had sent submissions previously many times, and this time it got accepted. I couldn't believe it.
It's a fabulous pattern. I
Yeah,
think it's really fun. And this
two skins as well. This is black wattle.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes. It's the one with what's it called?
Oh my gosh, the
cashmere
one,
stuff in it.
not Sweet Pea. Is it Sweet Pea?
No, it's the other one. A something? Starts with an A. Where are so bad at this?
I know.
You'll put it in the notes?
I'll put it in the notes. I'll look it up.
It's got amazing merino and silk and cashmere and all the things you want.
Kunzia.
Yes! Well, so much for my A. There's an A at the end.
There is.
Terrible. And I've done it with the beautiful Great Southern yarn, 100% merino.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, they've got a merino alpaca that might...
That would be good too. That would probably work even better because of the drape from the alpaca. Yes. This is...
Now, it's 4-ply, right?
Yeah.
But could you do it in an 8-ply?
Yeah. It would just mean probably a bit more yarn, not 2 skeins.
Maybe 3 or 4.
And it would be a bit heavier, I think. Yes.
That might be a good Northern Hemisphere winter.
Yeah. You could do it
shawl project
if you really want to. Yes. Yeah. How pretty are these colors? Angela is just so talented. Like the way she's put grays and oranges and all sorts of things.
Like rust and
look at it.
Silver.
And what I like is how good it's on the reverse. See? This is the wrong side. And this is the right side.
It looks equally as
attractive.
Yeah.
I prefer this, the wrong side.
Well, you could have made that the right side, the wrong side.
Yeah. Yes, it doesn't matter. All good. Yeah, so this is Excelso, and I did not name it. That's just... I had so many people come and say, X what? And it's just not, I did not name it. This was the magazine, they named it. And when they create the Ravelry page, they put a name in. So even when I got the rights back, I felt like, what's the point? It's like when you adopt a dog.
Yes.
You're not going to rename the dog.
Oh, I did rename my dog.
Did you?
I did.
Anyway.
Well, to be fair, he was only 12 months.
Okay.
So.
Yes. Well, the thing was already there.
And I really didn't like the name.
What was the name?
They named him Akuna.
Akuna?
Not even like Hakuna. You like Hakuna Matata?
Yeah.
Akuna.
Akuna. Is there a Akuna Bay in Sydney? I think there is one.
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he wasn't from Sydney.
No, Akuna.
He wasn't. He's always been a Melbourne
dog. No.
He's Murphy now.
Murphy, much better. Anyway, there you go.
Sorry.
Moving on from Excelso.
You've got your...
Yes.
Is this the latest one?
This is the latest one. So this was me sitting on the beach at Noosa. And you know, you just sit and the sun is on you. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
These sleeves are beautiful.
And I was thinking, if you have a traveling stitch, yeah, I really like this stitch. I've used it in matchstick. So it's basically on the one side you knit through the back loop, on the other side you slip with the yarn in front.
Pretty.
So it gets worked only every 2 stitches. So it's longer than all the other ones. And I thought, if I do it, but at the same time increase and decrease the fabric.
Oh, so it's like on the bias knitting,
Yeah.
right?
Then the line will get across. But when you put it this way, it's gonna be like lines like that. So that was me on the beach thinking I could use that.
Well, I think that's a fabulous combination with the yarn itself, which is also a kind of traveling journey.
So the yarn is
I
I bought this from Grumpy Ginger, and the end of the ball started like this, and then it kept on changing colors. And it's called Poema Tweed because it's got little flecks. There's a couple of poemas. There's
I have a
normal poemas, and then at the other end it ends in this color. So it's just a work of art. Basically.
Look at the difference between one color to the next.
It looks smashing in the ball of yarn. It looks gorgeous. You have to buy it. You see it and go like, I have to have this. And then as you knit, it keeps on changing colors.
I have
so fun.
I've knit a shawl with Poema Tweed before. Yeah,
it's just so fun.
It was such a nice experience.
Good yardage.
It's
huge 600 meters in a ball.
Yes,
definitely enough for a shawl.
Yeah. You only need one cake, I suppose. They're pretty big cakes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's great yarn. And the flowers these leaves ended up being right on the edge. So as you decrease, they keep on appearing. Yeah, I'm really happy with this project. Except, of course, I had finished doing it in November. So summer was coming. So my planning is not ideal.
I don't know. If you're planning your 2025 knitting, like I am, you could put that one in as
this section is
a fairly quick knit. Oh,
a bit of brown and a bit of blue.
I love brown and blue. I think it's an underrated color combination.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, they have many colors. Poema Tweed. There's oranges and purples and
And Grumpy Ginger, you said?
Grumpy Ginger don't stock it anymore, but maybe when winter comes they'll do it again.
Get it back.
And there's others. There's Noro. Noro has some
Noro's got
color
some beautiful color changing yarn.
And there's all sorts of cottons that have color changing as well. I
think even Bendigo Woolen Mills has some I've got some sock yarn that I think is kind of color changing. I don't know, maybe it's a different effect.
Yeah, so not from one color to
the it's got it's more of a spin cycle-y, same kind of tones but different. Yeah.
So this is one skein wonder as well, you could say, because it's one ball. So this is called fronde, because my obsession with Italian continues. And fronde are leaves.
Yes.
Leaves. I thought about calling it in Romanian. And it's
what's leaf in Romania?
Frunze. And then I discovered that Frunze, which would be the plural, is the capital of Kyrgyzstan or something like that. And I was like, people get the wrong idea. I have nothing to do with Kyrgyzstan.
It's really
it might not even be Kyrgyzstan. Don't quote me on that. It's
a country.
A country. I've never been to. All right. What do we do next? One more. So this is upcoming. This was the prototype. So you might know I have a shawl that I did for the River Yarn Festival, and it has this riverish looking stitch with a plant in the middle. So I thought I want to do a top or something.
So fabulous.
Yeah.
What is this yarn?
This is knitting for Olive, the little one, the merino cotton.
Yeah.
And it was a bit too fine for me, so I held it with Holzgarn Titicaca.
Ah,
So
yes.
I got to about 5 ply.
Yeah.
I got sport weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the wider sleeves, like those wider cuff.
So now the question I have, I've started doing it in a cotton merino. So this is another South American yarn called Amano. And I like it very much.
I want to I think we've dropped some stitches.
As if that doesn't happen every day of my life.
I'm here having a panic attack.
Are you?
Because I'm like, there's stitches dropped.
Yeah, I fix the stitches here. You can fix them up. It's alright. It's okay. And my dilemma is, do I do a drop sleeve top? Because I'm thinking summer, spring top. Or should I do a fitted, just sitting here, so the band would sit here? So not a drop shoulder.
What's the neckline of the jumper?
Neckline is round. It's like this.
Is that finished with an I-cord? No, that's just a binder. Oh.
Yeah, it's 2 rows of stockinette and then you bind off, so it mimics. So it looks like that. So I'm thinking I could just have it here. This would be the shoulder, and then just a little edge.
Just a little edge.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like
the fit of this
just
on you.
There.
Yeah.
Just, ooh.
Yes.
I quite like that.
Yeah, me too.
I've been researching t-shirt patterns.
Yes.
Because the local MCAL theme for January is t-shirts and tank tops.
Right.
And I like that fit. Either that or just like a short sleeve.
Yeah, because my first intention was to have a drop shoulder, but it's because this was a drop shoulder. For a jumper, yes, very nice because it continues in the sleeve. But I'm thinking if I want a spring one, yeah. So watch this space.
The other thing I was thinking, what about like a half sleeve?
Half sleeve, yes.
So like down to the elbow.
Yeah.
That would be really pretty, I think, with that pattern.
Yeah. Yes, so this will happen eventually. It's been sitting in the naughty corner while I decide.
It's in the naughty corner because you've lost stitches and you've got to pick them up.
No.
That's why I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, I can't even deal with that.
That was such a big deal. Really?
It's like, oh my god, you've dropped stitches.
No, not a problem. And should we show the last one?
Oh, yeah.
So the swatch?
Yes.
Okay.
Prototype. Here we come.
Okay, so like I said, my inspiration comes from photos. I see photos of knitting garments and things, and I look and I think, oh, I really like that stitch pattern.
Yeah.
So there's a famous photo of beautiful Elvis when he was in his early 20s, and he was so good looking. And he has a jumper. You can put a photo on.
We can.
If I say,
You have to send me the photo.
And then I really liked the stitch, so I tried to replicate it. And it's a bit of a cable, but not really. Just a bit of a negative space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, you were saying turtleneck, sort of maybe.
I love a turtleneck. Yeah. Maybe at least a turtleneck option.
Yes.
Or some kind of modified.
Yes.
Turtleneck. I like
it could be a men's jumper since it was.
It could be a men's.
Yes.
Or just a, I don't know, unisex or gender neutral.
Yes.
Jumper.
Yeah.
You just grade it a bit.
So this might be what I'm gonna use for the Tarndi yarn I got.
Oh.
The
Tarndi yarn would be fantastic in that, and it's so plump.
Yes. It's exactly like this. Same plump.
Can I just say, is that 4-ply or is that DK?
This is 8-ply. DK.
I reckon 4-ply Tarndi might knit up like a North American DK.
Ah.
It's pretty plump.
It's this plump. The pole worth is beautiful. Tom and Jason.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Another episode.
Yes, I know, you lucky girl.
That was so fun. That was such a good interview.
Yes.
Watch the space.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It might end up with a yarn for next year. For winter. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait.
And you might have to edit it again.
I might have to edit it.
Yes. Don't take too many things at work. Don't say I'm too busy, Vera. Okay.
I will always find time for you.
Thank you.
Where can viewers find you in 2025? Where are you going to be?
Where am I going to be? I'm going to be at Canberra,
Yes.
the Australian Yarn Show.
In
6th,
March?
7th of March, 6th, 7th, that weekend. I'm going to be sharing a stall with Susanna, and we're going to have all these stripy patterns. And then Karkoa, which is a beautiful little town south of Orange, New South Wales. And that's the River Yarn Festival. So that was the first place where I taught a workshop. And I'm doing 2 workshops there again, my continental knitting. And I will be also teaching more workshops. So if people are interested, you keep an eye on my Instagram. I'm Vera Loves Knitting on Instagram. And I always talk about if there's workshops at your local yarn shop. I would love to go north, south, all sorts of places. Yes, someone suggested Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
Should I do it?
Yeah, you can stay with me.
All right. Cool. And yeah, Instagram, Ravelry.
Fantastic.
And Bendigo. Hopefully we'll be at Bendigo.
You better come.
Of course I'll come, but I'm hoping to have a stall.
Oh, yes.
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 It's quite a task. It's hard work.
Process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you
My
for
pleasure.
hanging out with me today.
Aw.
We've just had the best time. I
Yes.
hope you've really enjoyed this interview and this insight into Vera's designs and the designing process, and looking at some of her beautiful sweaters and shawls. They're amazing. I love knitting them.
Thank
So
you.
I know other people will too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I thank you for watching.
Thank you. If you've enjoyed this, please give the episode a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It helps the channel get exposure. Not just, I think there's all sorts of algorithms.
Yes.
That,
The likes are good.
likes
Likes are very good.
Yeah.
Comments are good.
Comments are great.
Any comments?
Let us know. How about let us know if you've knit one of Vera's patterns and if you loved it or what you might want to knit.
Yes. If I should go with a sleeve, no sleeve.
Yeah,
Yes.
sleeves or no sleeves on the next jumper.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
You're
So
welcome.
much fun.
I love hanging out. So until next time, we'll say knitting. Happy knitting.
Happy
today, because
knitting.
We're happy knitters. Happy knitters. Happy knitting.